If I lower the importance, a solution presents itself. How do I lower the importance? Have a plan B, have a backup, have a reserve chute. When we create importance on something, it creates an energetic disturbance. I don't need to prove it. I just need to ask you to validate the next question. Because I can probably predict where you're experiencing the most stress and frustration and stickiness and lack of flow right now in your life is most likely where you're placing the most importance. Oh, that was a aha. How many people can relate to what I just said? Oh, look around the room. At some point in your past history, where you absolutely had to have something, a deal that was done, a payment that needed to be made on time, a meeting you've got to get through the other side of town. Every time you raised importance, you attracted a counterbalancing force that slowed you down, got in the way, threw a curveball. The one relationship you most wanted to have happen probably didn't. The one business deal that you were so desperate to close either didn't close or there was a ton of obstacles to get it over the line. Everybody follow? Again, you want to validate this in your own lives. And the reason is that when you are creating importance on something, there is just something that's it's like you're creating resistance in the wire. Electricity's not flowing. And it creates a counterbalancing force that has to bring the opposite of what you want. That's why at the point where you finally say, you know something? I'm done with this dating game thing. All right? There's nobody out there for me. Total rejection. They're all idiots. And I'm done. I'm just going to stay single for the rest of my life, and I'm going to be happy about it. Finally. And you let go, you lower the importance, and somebody shows up. Oh, wasn't expecting that. Wasn't out there looking for it. How many people have experienced some level of that in whatever area of their life, where the moment you stopped trying, something showed up, and you've been after it for freaking ever? It's just evidence of the law that I'm sharing with you. Now, there's two types of importance. There's external importance. External importance is where you place a huge amount of need on an outcome. You really say, I want to have this happen. Now, this may sound counterintuitive, so I'm going to give you a nuance. There is a difference between importance and priority. Making something a priority is one thing. For example, if it's a priority to pick the kids up from school, that's what you have to do. It's not like saying, oh, screw them. They'll figure it out. I'm not placing any importance on them getting home at all, right? Not what we're talking about. No, it's a priority, but this is what it looks like in two different sides. With no importance, it's like, I've got to go pick the kids up from school. Why? Because it's what I want to do. It's what I have to do. It's just, it's going to get done. Importance is, I have to pick the kids up from school. Oh my God, get out of my way. I must go. I've got to be there on time. Get out of my way. I'm late. Oh my goodness. You see the difference? One has elevated levels of importance. One doesn't. You can probably track back issues in your life where you created your own obstacles. When we say get out of your own way, most of the time you can do that very quickly simply by lowering the importance on what has to happen. The easiest way to do that is to have a plan B in case. You know something? If I don't manage to pick the kids up, I'll call the school, I'll send a cab, right, and I'll pay for it when it gets here. Whatever. That way, at least the pressure's off. Doesn't mean to say that that's what you want to have happen. I'm a skydiver. I jump out of airplanes to relax. And when I go, my main objective is that my main parachute opens. Useful. But I also have a reserve by law that I have to jump, which means if my main chute doesn't open, which is 1,000 to 1, then I've got a reserve, which if that doesn't open, 1,000 to 1, 1,000 times 1,000, it's 1,000,000 to 1. It's never going to happen in my movie anyway, right? So if I jump out, if I don't have a reserve, how much importance do I put on my main chute? All of it, right? But if I've got a reserve, can you see how even though it's still my intention to have my main chute open, I don't want a reserve ride, but there's less importance on it because I have a plan B. When you're in buy me, a plan B can be counterproductive. You want to burn your bridges. You want to be all in. You need to be fully committed because you've got to get through some damned obstacles. You don't want to get your way out of there. But when you're in through me, it's a different rule set. You want to be able to have, okay, well, if that doesn't happen, right, if I want to go and buy the milk from this supermarket, if it's like, I've got to get the milk, otherwise she'll kill me, or, oh my God, dinner's ruined if I don't get the milk, or whatever it may be, chances are they'll have sold out. Chances are the supermarket will be closed that day. Chances are there's going to be obstacles en route. If you say, well, you know something? I need to go to get the milk, because obviously dinner requires it. And if it's not at this supermarket, I'll go to another one. See? Some of you have put way too much importance on the rabbits you've been chasing. Why? Because you self-validate through them. If I don't get X, my life is over. If I don't get Y, I'm not good enough. If I don't get Z, fill in the blank. So we lower importance. External importance is the importance you place on objectives. Internal importance is different. Internal importance is your own sense of significance as it relates usually to ego. And this is an interesting nuance as well. I'll throw it out there. Internal importance is raised when you compare yourself. That's how it seems to be when you explore this rule set. And again, this is for you to test, not believe. I'm no interest in trying to tell you what the score is here. I'm giving you a framework and you can validate it for yourself. Healthy self-esteem, if you turn around to the universe and say, you know something, look in the mirror. I freaking rock. I'm freaking awesome. I am fucking amazing. That doesn't create a disturbance in the force. But if you say, I am so awesome compared to those idiots, right? Compared to those Muppets down there, that bunch of, you know something? Check me out. I'm king of the freaking castle. There is elevated self-importance, which attracts a counterbalancing force. And you hear that in different language patterns, Life will bring you down a peg or two. Pride comes before a fall. Yeah, we have different ways of expressing it. But healthy self-esteem doesn't create obstacles. So if you have an area in your life right now that you are struggling with, chances are you've got elevated importance. How many people relate to that? Okay. Here's the antidote. It's a phrase that I use a lot. If I lower the importance, a solution presents itself. Why? Because the how's none of your damn business. If I lower the importance, a solution presents itself. How do I lower the importance? Have a plan B, have a backup, have a reserve chute. Doesn't mean to say you're going to use it. Now, if you're in buy me, you're trying to control everything. So therefore, there's a lot of importance on trying to fix stuff. Now you can start to hear the language of going with the flow, the art of allowing, flowing with the bends in the river, rolling with the punches. You follow? It's like, hey, listen. Another language pattern I'll teach you. Very powerful. It'll be this or something better. It'll be this or something better. What you're doing is you're lowering the attachment or the compulsion to have it this way. That disconnects you from the rule set that helps. Now, when you have conviction, your heart and mind are aligned and you're walking forward, the universe is listening. But if you add importance to that, it's like standing on the front of the boat, throwing big boulders downstream, saying, I hope I don't get rapids. And of course, what happens? You get loads of turbulent water. Oh my God, didn't want rapids. Stop focusing on the rapids, stop throwing boulders. Lower the importance and a solution presents itself. Once you try this and experience it, you'll never go back. But if you're a control freak, it's going to be tough.